What's up, guys?
What up, dude? How are you? Where are you in the world?
I honestly can't say. I could text you where I am, but for some reason I can't say right now. However, this is not about me. Where are you right now?
We are here in New Jersey. We're here at the Prudential Center, getting ready to do our show tonight.
Yeah. Shay sounds like movie phone. And if you're too young, you won't get it. But Shay's like, we are in New Jersey. If you'd like to watch E.T., press 1.
Newark, New Jersey, just several miles outside of the Big Apple, New York City.
Those trains. The voice on the tram.
We have a lot to talk about here, but congratulations on another Grammy nomination. So let me get that out of the way. Best Country Duo Group Performance. And I know you're going to play humble and be like, hey, it's an honor. But would you be irritated because you guys are, you're the leaders in the clubhouse. You're the biggest duo happening right now, if you ask me. Would you be disappointed if you weren't nominated?
You always want to be nominated, man. It truly is an honor to be nominated at the Grammys. It's a select bunch. There's not a ton of country categories, so there's so many great songs released every year. I'm not just, being politically correct saying that. It is really an honor. It's super exciting when we get nominated. And we've won the last 3 years, which I think, creates more pressure. This year, it's like, well, we got to make it 4. I think the first thing I did was Google, has it ever been done? Has anybody ever won 4 consecutive years? And I think in my findings, I think Lenny Kravitz won in his category 3 years in a row. I don't know if he won the 4th year, so we're gonna attempt it.
Who knows?
But you never know. It's a toss up, so we'll see. And it gets us an invite to the show. It's always a good time out there in LA, so we'll see what happens.
I'm very curious about you two's relationship because it feels like, your relationship would take as much time and care as, your home relationships, because you guys are together so much, you create together. Like, what is the key to being in a successful duo where you must constantly compromise?
I think it's much like the rules of marriage. I think there is a lot of things that we've probably learned in this relationship that we probably had to take into our marriages with, there is a lot of compromise, especially if you have different thoughts on certain situations. You have to just communicate that, which is something that I don't think you're just born with knowing how to communicate, which is something that we learned kind of through doing this, of just like, all right, we got to talk it out. Every situation, we've never really had any fights, but when we do have like little, tense moments, it's always immediately kind of dissipated when we just sit down and like, all right, how do we make this better? Like we talk it through. And I feel like it does take, a lot of time to learn how to navigate all of those things and making sure that you're giving each other space, but also not giving each other too much space where you're just not talking at all. That can happen a lot of times in these situations. And we always, make sure to make it a point to talk with each other and like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling about this? How you feeling about that? So that's definitely key.
I think also just keeping things consistent from how they were, when we got started. We're still share a dressing room, all those things. It's like, we're together before the show, we're together after the show. And if it's a great show, we're celebrating it together. If the show is not so great, we're lifting each other up. And it's like, at least we're going through it together, no matter what we're doing. And I think we've always appreciated that and valued that. So that never changes and never will change. And, we both have common goals. It's like we want our music to be heard by as many people as humanly possible. And it's not like one of us wants to be super commercial, one of us wants to be super cred. It's like we both want our music to be, consumed by the masses. So we're working towards the same goal. And yeah, man, it's awesome to be able to do it with somebody, with your best friend.
Are there times in this relationship with each of you that you go, okay, the best communication would be if we just take a break, not because we're mad at each other, but because we're together all the time at each other's hip, like we're probably going to get on each other's nerves. Do you just go, you know what, Shay, you know what, Dan, let's just take a month and not talk?
We don't usually take a month and not talk. We definitely take moments where when we're off the road, we're just kind of hanging with our families. So that's like all the break we need. By the time we are home for a month, we're like, hey man, what do you want to make some music?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's all the break we ever usually need, is just to be home with our families and be like, all right, let's I think everybody wants us to get back on the road right now, and it definitely helps for us to have that space and time for each other.
I think I can speak on behalf of, most country artists when I say it. The formula for country music touring is so healthy. I think it's, it's usually 2-3 days on. You do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then you're back home in Nashville. I feel like that's a really healthy balance to not, be gone so long. So we can be out here, we can be having fun, we'll be with our band and crew. And then it's like you get a few days at home to reset. By the time, Wednesday night when you hop on that bus rolls around, our wives are like, oh, we're glad you're going back on the road. So I think it's a perfect balance, and it allows us to keep things fresh.
The parallel that I would use is our morning show. When we started this, we were all very young. We weren't, we didn't have kids. I mean, I still don't have kids, but we weren't married. We didn't have kids. We were able to, heck, we went on vacations together because our whole life was not only us doing the show, but us being together outside of the show. And there have had to be concessions when now, like, Amy has 2 kids, Amy has a husband. So we've kind of had to figure out, where each of us live in that circle now that the circle is like 6 circles deep. And I assume with you guys and your families, that same thing has had to happen, right? Like, I would guess you guys hung out all the time until you found people that you like better, meaning your wives.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, no, it's a really cool balance to kind of figure that out, which, like you said, I mean, Dan and I, we spent the first probably, 5 years or 6 years, it was just us. 280 days out of the year, we were together and probably playing shows out of all 280 of those days. And then, obviously, as we got bigger, we didn't have to play so many shows, and so we weren't together as much, but it was still, we had so much fun creating, and we tried to kind of create that space of like, all right, we work, and then, we were back home with our wives, and I feel like it just kind of created that hunger to create again, being away from each other. And we've never really had, obviously you have to, have those spaces and have your family and have those moments where you're like, all right, this is the time for the family. And, we know that this is what this is. And Dan's been so great about, he knows I got kids, and if I got to go back to Arkansas and hang out with them, he's always great with that. And it's just kind of makes it, like you said, kind of has a fresh creativity when we come back, when you kind of respect each other in that way of giving each other your own space. And then it makes it more exciting when you get back together, especially after being together for so long, creating every single day. It just kind of makes it exciting again. And that's the way that we kind of, like you said, keep it fresh.
Let me talk about kids for a second, Shay, because we, on this show, we're talking about Adele, and she was like, my kid doesn't give a crap what I do. And I say, hey, if you always grow up in it, you don't really know that it's that cool to other people. With your kids, do they care that their dad's a big famous singer, or are they just like, that's dad, he does what he does?
They could care less. I think in the best ways. He has I mean, neither one of them, Ames is just about to be 2 and Asher's about to be 5. And he knows that, like, I go on stage, but he just, like you said, being around it always, if I'm on the TV, he's like, what do you think you're doing, Mom? I was watching a movie, kind of thing, like, they don't, especially when you grow up with technology. I feel like kids don't understand, like, you can take a video on your phone now of dad, and then you can watch it back. And so seeing it on the TV, I don't think registers with, like, he's in LA or he's in New York doing a TV show. It's just like, who filmed dad and what movie is this? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I have a ton of these shows on mom's phone. So it's just kind of, I don't think he really is registered quite yet with what I do. And I don't think he really cares all that much yet.
I do want to get to the Christmas stuff in a second because, we're getting into winter, which is great, I guess, for what I would call Dan anxiety, because I get it when Dan's gone for a long time and he goes back and he mows his yard and it's like it's 10 feet high. And I told him for Christmas, I would buy him, like 5 mowings from a professional company. But Dan, you're so obsessed with mowing your own yard. Why can't you let this go?
It's so funny. Like, speaking of posting about mowing on social media, people like my mowing more than they like our music. I think like I get like 5 times the amount of engagement and viewership when I post a story about mowing the lawn. And it's like, we worked so hard on this song. We poured our hearts and souls into it. And it's getting, 20% of what it's like me just mowing the lawn.
Let's circle back to that lawn thing.
Yeah, with my Craftsman mower that I bought at the Sears outlet on Thompson Lane for $200. It's still kicking, barely. I need to invest in a new mower soon, but I don't know. It's something that's therapeutic. It's like instant gratification. Whereas music, it's like you come up with an idea. You hear somebody say something, you write it in your phone, you write a song, you demo it. It goes through a lot of steps before you can really feel it. A song like Tequila or Speechless, these songs that we had written years ago, we're finally feeling the fruits of that labor. We're out on the road doing our first headlining tour and feeling fans singing back to us in a big way. That takes a long time. Whereas mowing the grass, it's like you're out there, you're mowing, you step back and you look at those lines and it just looks fresh. Yeah. Like it's, you know, a couple hours of work and you can feel that immediately, which is a beautiful thing. I don't know. I just can't let it go. I can't. I spend too much time. It's an anxiety thing. I talk about it a lot with my wife. It's like if I spent that time like just getting my work done instead of going out there and picking up each individual leaf that falls off the tree into the lawn and carefully placing it outside of the lawn, I feel like I would get a lot more work done and probably have a more successful career. But, you know, something about doing that landscaping satisfies my OCD.
I want to play a clip of Officially Christmas. This is from Dan and Shay. Then I want to talk about this for a second. Go ahead. It's officially Christmas, and I'm officially yours. Now, do you sit down and go, all right, we have got to write a Christmas song because the world needs a Dan and Shay Christmas song? Or does someone come in and go, I've been feeling pretty Christmassy. Let's write this.
It's something that you definitely, it's not something that just kind of came out of the blue. I mean, our fans have been asking for Christmas music from the very beginning. And I think we had gotten asked to do a CMA Christmas special. And we I think the first one we did was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Yeah. And that's just like, I mean, that's our favorite Christmas song probably of all time. And we realized that not a lot of people have original Christmas music. You know, there's the staples. You have Mariah Carey, you know, All I Want for Christmas. You got JB has Mistletoe. That one always kind of rises to the top every year. And we were just like, man, we would love to write an original Christmas song. And so we tried that for the first time last year. And the reaction from our fans was crazy. I mean, we took over Mariah for like a day or something. Yeah. It was like one day.
That's our claim to fame.
But the reaction was crazy. And so we were just like, man, there's something about doing an original, like people are kind of hunger for that because they don't really get it. I mean, if you think about it, not a lot of people do original Christmas music. And it was just kind of a fun thing for us to get to do in August, you know, and set up a mini Christmas tree. And Dan's had a lot of nice scented candles in the studio. And we just kind of made Christmas, and should have said July because Christmas in July sounded better. Totally. I think it might have been July. I don't know.
We procrastinate.
Yes.
August is like the final deadline. The label's like, you got to get your Christmas music turned in by August 31st. It's like August 29th, and we haven't written the song yet. So it's always a scramble. But we somehow wrangled two this year.
I saw on Twitter, you said, hey guys, we're thinking about playing some Christmas songs at the show. Let us know if you want to hear it. Now, what if everybody would have said no? Would you have still played it, or was it already in the set?
Would have been great. Less work to rehearse the songs to get them ready. Perfect, man. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. No, man, it's I think at that point we'd already worked them into the set, and we've been changing it up every night. It's fun, man. We got like a little tree that comes out of the middle of the stage. It's a whole deal. So it's pretty cheesy, but you know, it's Christmas. Why not?
When you do your live show and that thing comes down at the end, I think it's the plus sign. And I saw you hit your head on it, Dan. Your head but to me, it almost looks like a magic trick because when that thing comes down, then you guys disappear, right?
Yep.
Okay, now
all the details.
That's my question. Are you going to David Copperfield me here and not tell me how you disappear on stage?
You got to tell us where you are in the world right now. And then tell you how you get out of the stage.
I know where he is. I'll tell you. I'll tell you after. I'm gonna reveal it right here on now.
So we're nearing the end of our tour, and that's been our debate. It's like we have this stage. This plus sign is out in the middle of the arena. It's surrounded by the pit and all the seats. It's in the middle of the floor. And our fans, they've speculated how we get out there, and we're debating whether we want to do like a big social media reveal of how we get out there or just like leave them hanging. I think we'll probably leave them hanging.
Or on the last show, just do something completely different. They think they've got it figured out, and then we just come down from the ceiling just out of nowhere.
Well, respectfully, this is bull crap that you're not telling me.
We'll tell you after. We'll share secrets.
Okay.
No, that plus sign is like, it's pretty insane, man. It's like a transformer. It's fully automated. It goes up 30 feet in the air and goes to the ground. It's magic. It also costs a lot of money. So we'll try to get as much use out of it as possible.
Expensive magic.
Working theory here that you're not actually in the arenas. Those are just holograms of you two, because one night I saw that you guys were playing in like Atlantic City and Dan was at home at the same time. It's a theory out there. So I'm just letting everybody know.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad theory. I've actually never left Nashville. I'm in my house right now. The technology is honestly.
Take the mask off. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage face off. You know what's the craziest thing is that I'm actually Dan. That's been a thing we've had going on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a waste of everyone's time because it makes no sense. Been. But yes. Amy, you have a question for Dan and Shay.
Yeah. Have a favorite pie? Hey guys.
Hello.
Have a favorite pie?
Oh, have a favorite pie. I thought you were saying, but that sounded not like a question. It sounded like have a favorite pie. Why don't you? You know? All right. Well, I guess I'll choose this. I think my favorite pie right now, it kind of goes, it used to be pumpkin pie my entire life growing up, but my wife makes pecan pie, and that has overtaken my entire life. If Hannah makes a pie for like the neighbors, they're usually probably not going to get that pie. I tell her I take it to them, but it's honestly a real problem. I'm addicted to pecan pie.
On Thanksgiving, Abby made a vegan thing or a pumpkin pie, and nobody else ate it. There was a pecan pie that everybody ate, and the pumpkin pie after everybody left, I was eating it. I cut it up and I ate it like for the next 4 days like pizza. I mean, it was like I was picking it up by the crust and just eating it, no fork. It was a mess, but it was so good. It was very good. I feel like that's going to be a staple. Once a week, make a pumpkin pie. Yeah, it's not just a Thanksgiving thing anymore. Big fan.
Amy, you have another question for Dan and Shay?
Read any books lately?
Sure haven't, Amy.
I couldn't tell you the last book I read, man.
No, I sure haven't. That was a short question.
What about save money or spend?
I save all my money. I have spent like probably $300 total dollars in the last like 5 to 10 years. I don't spend any money. I spend $0.
And that's why we're yin and yang, because I love to spend money. I don't love to spend. I got 2 kids, so that kind of takes up the chunk of the budget.
Let me play Pick Out a Christmas Tree from Dan and Shay. Here's the clip.
Pick out a Christmas tree, top shelf in aisle 3. We'll tie it to the car. Hey, don't forget the star. And when we get back home, plug it in and watch it go. Been waiting all year to light up the living room with you.
So add these to your Christmas collection of songs that you start playing, well, now. They have Officially Christmas and Pick Out a Christmas Tree. Still My Love is rocking. You're going out with Kenny, which is going to be a massive tour. I mean, I guess it has to be someone who is a superstar for you to go and be the act in front of them, because there's nobody now that's bigger than you guys, except respectfully, well, Kenny or Garth. You know what I'm saying?
We'll take that, man. It's honestly been a dream of ours. Like when we heard that we got the offer for this tour, we're huge Kenny Chesney fans. I mean, all those songs are songs that, you know, we kind of looked at early on and been like, I want to write, like, this is the perfect country song. You know, I Go Back, Don't Blink, all these songs that are just like, holy crap, you know, and he's still putting out hits, you know, and it's such an honor for us to go out with him. And the thing about that I miss, honestly, about headlining is, you know, obviously we love headlining and you love to do that. But the one thing you don't get to do as an opener, you would always, every night you get to go out and watch the show of the headliner, and you get to go front of house and you kind of have that whole experience and kind of remind yourself of how cool it is, you know, from that side of the stage. And I kind of miss that. And that, you know, we didn't get to do that when we go out and headline. And now with Kenny, I just know Dan and I are going to be out there every single night, front of house, just rocking to all of those songs. And so I did miss getting to do that. So we're very, very humbled that he would even ask us. So we're pretty pumped.
Amy, one more question for Dan and Shay.
Do you like naps?
Honestly, I'm the worst napper of all time. I can't do it. I physically can't do it. I'll attempt it, and I'll just lay down there and I'll start like stressing, or my mind will start racing about something, and I'll be like, I got to go steam my t-shirts, or so I got to do something. I got to keep myself busy. I'm very, very bad at naps.
You're not a nap guy, but he's not a sleep guy either.
No. It shows.
He doesn't sleep either. Yeah. I've tried to take naps, but my kids take naps, and that's usually like the only quiet time that we get. So naps are a no-go for me. These are hard-hitting questions, Amy. I appreciate you.
Well,
no
listen,
problem.
just so you guys can be let in, we rolled a dice and it landed on 4 before you guys came on. So Amy could only ask questions with 4 words, meaning What favorite pie now? She only had 4 words.
I love it.
Didn't even get the question mark in there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So that's why I worked in like read any books lately. But y'all went along with it. You answered the questions well.
Pretty good.
So thanks,
That's pretty
guys.
good.
Well, for Christmas, let me say this. For Christmas, what I would like to do for you two is if you're ever in an argument and it's split 50-50, you call me, I'll be the deciding vote because I understand how hard a one-on-one can be. If you need a tying vote, I offer you that insight, knowledge, opinion. Anytime you guys need it, let me know.
Only because I passed on the grass mowing certificates.
Yes. That's true. I was going to.
If we needed help right now,
Dan
Bobby,
Shay.
where are you at right now? You said you were somewhere. If we needed to get a hold of you, you're at
the same cell phone number that both of you have, and you can just text me, and I will get right back to it.
Wait,
yes.
and then
All right, Dan and Shay.
I have
Yes, Amy.
I have one more that we need to know because speaking of debates and ties, I have one more question. Home Alone Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
Thank you.
It's unreal.
All right.
Also, this is a side
dumbest
note.
people we've had on the air in a long time. We're gonna go now.
This is a side note, but I watched Jingle All the Way the other night, and there's a great reveal. I posted this on Instagram. Arnold Schwarzenegger is dressed up as Turbo Man. He is Turbo Man at the end. And his family, his wife and his kid don't know that it's Arnold until he takes off.
It's clearly
How do
Arnold.
you not know that it's Arnold?
It's see-through goggles.
It's Turbo time. How do you not know that that's Arnold?
And they're so blown away, like, Dad?
Howard?
Blown away. Couldn't believe it.
All right, Dan and Shay, they have 2 Christmas songs, Officially Christmas and Pick Out a Christmas Tree. Add them to your playlist during Christmas because every time you stream one of their songs, an angel gets its wings. And that is a proven fact. And I didn't just make that up. At Dan and Shay. And guys, Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys soon. And I hope you have a great rest of the week.
This is a Bobby Bones Show.